Good morning, guys. Today we have a car that was built almost 50 years ago, back in the 70s, but most probably many of you didn't even know about its existence. And most probably it's because it was built in a short-lived country called Soviet Union. Its international name is LADA 1500, but originally it's better known as VAZ 2103. So let's have a look at it from the outside, then also check the interior. Afterwards, the other me, the guy from my garage, will introduce you to some facts about this car. To start with, the 2103 is an improved or luxury version of a standard model called 2101. And the first and the most visible difference are the 4 headlights instead of only 2. Of course, more chrome trim, as you see around the car, and a bit different rear lights, which I will show you now. Here they are. And again, some more chrome trim around here. The trunk is quite comfy and spacious, and it also includes a full-size replacement wheel. And now, as always, let's switch to the other me to learn more about this LADA. Welcome to my garage. So, today we're looking at a car which is called VAZ 2103, or as you might know it, LADA 1500. It was one of the most desired cars back in the 70s in the Soviet Union for those who were allowed to buy it and could buy it. And the waiting time to get yourself a car was around 5 to 7 years. Imagine that. Now, a little bit of history. Back in 1966, Soviets made a deal with Italian company FIAT to set up a car production plant in Soviet Union. And this deal was to include 2 car models. One was to be called Norma, or standard, and it would be based on Fiat 124, the car of the year from 1967, and another version, luxury version, which would be developed by Italians and approved by Russians. So this Lux is our 2103. Now, fun fact number 1. Immediately after signing this deal, Russians renamed the city where the plant was to be built, the city called Stavropol, to Togliatti. And Togliatti was the name of leader of Italian Communist Party. Another interesting moment. Usually Soviet cars were named according to the plant where they were built with certain number coding. So in our case it would be VAZ, which means Volga Automobile Plant, Zavod, 2103. And additionally, it was named Zhiguli. Now, Zhiguli is the name of the mountains which are nearby the city, Togliatti or Stavropol, where the plant was built. And internationally, the word Zhiguli sounded like a gigolo, hence they changed the naming to LADA 1500. So far for the history, let's dig into the model line. The 2103, our car from today's review, represents the first generation of LADAs, which had 3 models. 2101, built on the base, or basically it was a licensed copy of Fiat 124. 2102 was the same Fiat 124 with the station wagon body type, so it's either a copy of Fiat 124 Familiare, or you can call it 2101 station wagon, doesn't matter. And our 2103 was supposed to be the luxury version of 2101. Then, if we go further to the second generation, there were 4 models in the second generation of all the LADAs or Zhigulis. So 2105 was the new industrial design version with a lot of plastic. Design was not so successful, I would say, but it doesn't matter. Then 2104 was the station wagon of 2105. 2106 was the improved version of our 2103. Now, bear with me, a lot of numbers, I know. So 2106 was supposed to be the improved version of 2103, but again, basically they used cheap materials, removed all the chrome, introduced a lot of plastic, so I don't know, I didn't like that car. And 2107 was to be the luxury version of 2105. You might notice the ridiculously long production time of all the second generation LADAs, and it's around 30 years for every one of them. And usually in 30 years, other manufacturers would change around 5 generations. Just crazy. There were more LADAs afterwards, but our story circles around the first generation and 2103. Another fun fact. Actually, the 2106 that I already mentioned before might have looked completely different because Russians made a deal with Porsche for them to improve the 2103 to create the second generation of this model. And they did. Although all the improvements that Germans made, including seats, suspension, Porsche 928 steering wheel, were basically too expensive for Russians, and so they killed this project and stuck with their own version, with the 2106. So it's quite a fascinating story, isn't it? I hope you got the main facts from this information. Sorry for a lot of figures. And let's get back to the field to see the interior of 2103. And now let's inspect the interior. First of all, it's a definite improvement over the standard 2101 version, and especially the front panel. As you see, it's completely different, and it's even more closer in its design to the one in SEAT 1430. Next, of course, is the usual for those times, is this thin steering wheel. So it's not that comfortable to use it, but I like how it looks. Here we have 3 small gauges with the descriptions rather than icons, as in later models. It says fuel, water and oil in Russian language. Now the heating system is extremely trivial. It's basically hot, cold, fast or slow. That's it. Now the coolest feature of any Soviet car was the flower engraved gear knob lever. And fun fact, these were mostly produced by imprisoned people while serving their time. Hence some of them were improved to, for example, an extractable knife. Now please take a look at this knob down here. It's a windscreen wiper water pump launcher, and it's operated by foot. You just press it a couple of times and the water pumps out of those sprinklers. Before switching back to my garage, let's have a look at the engine, which is quite simple, as you might guess. An interesting moment is that the hood is being opened as in old BMWs. So, simple 1.5 liter engine, carburetor, nothing fancy, but it works and drives and produces, I think, 73 or 74 horsepower, which is not that small amount for those times. With this, we are switching back to the other me. Welcome back. Over the years, they've built around 1.3 million pieces of 2103, the car that we are having in our review today. And in the secondary market, even nowadays, you can find thousands of available units in countries such as Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and so on and so on. But usually they are quite neglected. Hence, we are visiting mobile.de to look at the market in the European Union. Here we can see that only 34 units of 2101 are available and only a dozen of 2103. And basically, if you look at those offers, you would see that good condition car would set you back around 6,000–7,000 euros. and those at a maximum price at 16K would be completely rebuilt, refurbished, or special versions such as 2103 police car from East Germany. Now another fun fact, 2101 back in the days in early 70s, the price of it was equal to around 40 average salaries of Soviet person. The price for 2103 was around 55, and for 55 average salaries nowadays you would be able to buy BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class, or almost whatever. Ridiculous. And now the takeaways. Should you buy one? No. Well, actually I love this car. Never mind its quality and old age. How about you? And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you a bit later. Most probably due to the summer period it will happen a little bit later than usual. See you.